Hi everyone, welcome to DOdaily Tuesday training. It's Des here, checking in, looking to get the week off to a flyer, looking to process my thoughts and take things forward. Sometimes on DOdaily, I feel compelled to try and get a message across. When things happen, when things affect myself and those around me, I try to be as articulate and as delicate as I can to pass on what I want to say. A lot of the time, I just come on, say what I have to say. The whole point of DOdaily is my real and raw feelings, my raw emotions. So I don't concern myself too much, just sort of blurt it out. But having heard some sad news last night, it's really important for me. Like I said, I feel compelled to say a few words about a certain situation and get a message across that hopefully makes sense. Of course, I'll try and be positive and sort of find a way for myself to take that forward. But before I get into the episode, if you can just try and understand where I'm coming from, if you can try and understand why I do DOdaily, hopefully tonight's episode will be a good reflection of that. And if you could get behind what I'm doing by giving this episode a thumbs up and subscribing, I'd really appreciate that. Of course, this is just that raw, realistic take on the way I deal with the things that are going on around me. But like I said, I heard this terribly sad news. A family member who'd been married for just a couple of years sadly lost their partner. A real genuine gentleman, somebody who made my family member particularly happy after they'd been through a period of uncertainty. So it's just one of those examples of where life feels really unfair. And looking in, I can feel that sadness. I can't feel the pain, of course. I've not experienced it myself, but I can feel that sadness and it's heartbreaking. The story itself, again, I can't go too much into it. It's not mine to tell, but it's absolutely heartbreaking seeing what's transpired and what's happened. But what I will say on the back of that, sometimes when I'm doing one of these episodes, I wonder whether I should talk about or mention certain things. But in the past, I've spoke about my own real tough issues. I even did a DOdaily once when my mum was in a critically ill condition, and I didn't know whether it was the right thing to do, but it's at those times I think this is as important as ever. I've spoken a lot recently about all the nice, good things, all the positive feelings I'm experiencing, and all the things that are going well. I'm getting in plenty of activity, making myself feel good. Of course, I've had some amazing life-changing situations. I committed to my life partner just last year. So again, another reason this situation it hits home. But I was kind of looking at it, went to bed thinking about it and feeling that sadness I mentioned before. Woke up feeling pretty much the same and seeing one or two things and people mention it. Again, it just brings it all home. But for me, the only way I could deal with this, the only way I could deal with this situation was to try and realise and be as positive as I absolutely can be. That's not out of disrespect. That's probably out of respect for the person that sadly passed. It's probably out of respect for them and their persona, the way they were, particularly positive person, even through some real tough times, through a long illness, always maintained positivity and was always genuine and nice and put themselves across in the right way. And that's all I try and do. And it was just a reminder of that today. I've gone about my business, done the things I've have to do. I've gone to work. I've taken the positives from that. I've then tried to sort of reinforce my fundraising efforts for my forthcoming London Marathon. And I put a bit of stuff out there through social media, quite a lot as well, looking back on real positive situations in terms of the football. There's been a lot of toxic behaviour on Twitter around Forest and them not being well. So I put something positive out there. I was positive about my running and my fundraising. Even got out tonight in the rain and found a positive out of that. But I think the reason I do all that, and I summed it up in a very short line on a social media post, was this is what me and Kay try to do. We try and give people a better chance. At the moment, we're fundraising for children who don't get a very good start in life. And I think the whole thing, the bigger picture in all this, the thing that dawned on me as much as anything was life is so precious, isn't it? And sometimes we probably take ourselves a little bit for granted. We don't realise, because we've done quite a lot of fundraising, we do quite a lot for others. We take ourselves a little bit for granted and forget how much we do make an effort. And I think what I've tried to do today is be really positive about fundraising. It's hard, we appreciate it's a tough time to ask people for money and things like that. But it's the only way I can deal with such situations. Like I say, even through my own sort of despair and my own upset and anguish at times, I've still managed to come on here and blurt out a few thoughts. I always talk about how important this is for me to process everything. The fact I've always said, if it helps one person, that's great. It helps me. But I think what we have to realise sometimes is life is so unfair. And if you're experiencing those situations, sometimes they don't get any easier quickly. But for those people around, for people looking in, for those who aren't experiencing it, we have to try and be as positive as we possibly can, just to make a little bit of a difference. Like I say, all I've done today is be really positive about other things. I worry sometimes, I'll be completely honest. I worry people will be looking in thinking it, like I said before, it might be just disrespecting the situation, but it's absolutely not. It's out of respect and understanding of what other people do and give and the way they've been. I think I can always do that little bit more. Like I say, I feel we do quite a lot anyway, but I think it's important to try and sort of maintain that positivity, because my positivity, Kay's positivity, it tends to be sort of channeled into supporting people. And when we talk about life being so precious, life being so unfair, not everybody gets given what we've got. We've not got very much in reality, not materialistic things anyway. We've got lots. We've got absolutely everything we need when it boils down to it. But it's important, to sort of keep that mindset going. And like I say, realise that, for me, the realisation of why I'm positive sort of hit home today. It's not always easy. When you look up on these situations, or when things happen to you personally, it's hard to maintain it. But it was that realisation that when bad things happen, I tend to go to another level with it, and that's probably because that's where I can make a difference. That's where I feel like I'm really doing something about a situation that I can't control, and there's lots of things that we can't control, and I always talk about not being defined by them. In situations like this, the situation I spoke about, it's hard not to be, isn't it? But if you're not, how can I put it? If you're not right in the midst of the situation, you can just do what you do to keep supporting, keep encouraging, keep talking to people, keep offering that support. And like I say, the only way I can really, through a bit of social media, through my running, through my fundraising, that's what I've done today. I've just almost tried to find a way to cope with this myself. Don't get me wrong, this is not my pain. Like I say, I feel terribly sad for the people involved, but what I can do is just keep trying to support people wherever I possibly can. And if we make that little bit of difference, to those who aren't so fortunate, we can really understand where we're at, can't we? And start I didn't get that quite right. Really sort of keep we can enhance what we do, and that's what I feel I've done there. People supporting me through Twitter just by me being a little bit out there. Some of my sort of requests, by, even if you can't donate, retweet, do this, do that, do whatever you absolutely can to make yourself feel that little bit better. A little good deed for the day is all we need, isn't it? When I heard the news, I sent a message, offering the support and to be there, and if anything he's doing, like most people would, because in general people are good, aren't they? Sometimes people upset us, people test us, people aren't very nice, but deep down most people are good. And I think it's important that if we just try to show it a little bit more at times, whether it comes across right or wrong, I know what I do is with genuine intentions and really wanting to support. By getting out there tonight, by talking about my marathon training, people will feel this situation even less than me, but they might be the people who possibly pick up something from it, pay it forward a little bit, and it makes a difference to their day. And that's a great place to start, I think. When we're feeling really sad, really upset, when we're thinking of others, I think if we put ourselves in the best place we possibly can to pay it forward, to support and encourage, we're giving ourselves every opportunity to make a difference. And that's all I'm trying to do. I've said it several times throughout. Myself and Kay are just looking to support those less fortunate. I mentioned we don't have a lot, but we have each other, and we have a fantastic small world that we live in, and we're grateful for that, and hopefully we'll have many sort of happy times and things to reflect on in the future. But for today, we're just going about the things, being there for people, doing what we can, and being the best possible version of ourselves, despite the adversity, despite the bad things that are happening to others. I do feel really, really sad, but ultimately there's life to live, and it's precious. We have to do whatever we possibly can to support, and that's what gets us through. On top of that, the episode is about Tuesday training. Hopefully that message has come across. I'm sure those looking in will understand how difficult it is to talk about such a thing, but I really do hope I've said it in the right way. Like I say, a lot of the time it doesn't really matter. This is my small YouTube channel where I just try and sort of deliver solutions to good, bad, or indifferent situations. We're creatures of emotion. Things will get to us, things will really, really upset us, but when they do, we've got to find a way to sort of drag ourselves through it and feel that little bit better about what we do. And for me, I'm feeling it, but I'm feeling glad that I've done the things I've had to do, to keep that sort of positive mantra going and to keep paying it forward. And I think if we do that, we're in a good place. For me, the run in the rain, it probably helped me as well. I was feeling some of the sad emotions of it all before I went. And like I say, whilst I can't feel the pain of the people directly involved, I can feel sadness like anybody else, and that is unfortunately an emotion of life. So the run, it almost cleared my head a little bit, gave me a bit of clarity on the whole situation and how we can keep pushing forward, keep doing what we do, and by doing a run, I've done what I have to do today. A little bit of training towards a London Marathon. It might just encourage somebody to donate a few quid to support a charity which gives people a better start in life. At both ends of life, sometimes it can be really, really unfair. And it's if there was ever a case, from what I'm trying to do with Kay to support said charity, to what happened, what news I've heard, it just really highlights the unfairness, the difficulties, and how sometimes, you know, it really, really does go against us. But to end on a positive, you know, like I said, done all those things. If I can encourage you guys just to sort of get behind what I'm doing here. There's a lot of the time where I'm just talking about really positive situations, really positive idealisms, you know, to take things forward. I think I've done that to some degree. I don't think I've got it too far wrong, but again, it's hard to say exactly as I want to. If you've liked the episode, if you understand the difficulties in it, if you understand where I'm trying to sort of get to from one terribly sad situation to a much more positive one, please do give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. That would be amazing. You know, we're just trying to make a difference, as I keep saying, and that is done with genuine intentions. And if people don't see that, there's not much we can do. We can't be put off by it. We just have to keep pushing forward. Until tomorrow's episode, Wednesday workout, thank you for watching, thank you for understanding, and thank you for taking time. You know, I really do appreciate it. Remember, life is so precious. Make the most of every moment of good you can get. Just doing it.